Hello, my dear Scorpio, and welcome to February. We're going to go ahead with this whole reading, but first I want to cover the energies that are high right now. We are going through in bulk, which is one of the Sabbats of the Wheel of the Year, and it represents a time between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So we have this time of preparation, this time of gathering information, hibernating on our goals and our intentions, and really focusing on those burrowing animals. We're going to be calling upon them. So squirrels, chipmunks, groundhogs, even the badgers and the bears all have a place here. We're calling upon the earth and the fire elements as we go about this reading. We'll go through a little bit of the positions and what they mean. This is the center. We have your past, your mindset, the messages from the spirit realm, and your forward movement into your action taking and into the future. These red cards here are read like a sentence by the Lenormand, and you got all of them. They sort of fell on the table, so we're going with it. There's a lot there that we don't usually have this many here in a story, so I'm very curious to see what those are. Before we dive in, I'm going to go ahead and clear the energy space. This is Palo Santo. We are calling upon the fire element, so this makes sense to do so at this time. We'll also call upon your spirit guides, the 4 directions, or should I say 7 directions, the elements, and just take this time to clear your own energy space as well. Take some deep breaths, and just releasing whenever it feels good to do so for you. Setting yourself up a space, getting nice and comfortable, and we'll go ahead and dive in. So, right in the center of your reading, we have awareness. Very cool. I love this kind of midnight energy here. It's something that's very intuitive. And as a Scorpio, you guys are highly intuitive and highly emotionally guided beings. So I think that there's an aspect here of trusting that inner guidance system and your emotional turbulence to lead the way. This was actually reversed, so I will leave it as such until we get back to it. You'll see me flip cards quite often. We'll go into the past here, and you have this war bonnet, and I love this card because it really speaks to having earned your right to be here. This is, people will go through in ancient times, and perhaps even still, but Native American culture, you earn your eagle feather, right? And the war bonnet is like, you've earned all of these individual feathers, and so now you have an entire headdress or war bonnet made from those advancements, those good deeds, if you will. In your mindset here, we have the truth, okay, and it was reversed. So something kind of going on here with clarity, perhaps with your third eye opening, something to that regard. The truth being upside down, we'll see what's going on with that as we get more cards flipped over. So I'll leave it reversed for now. The messages from your spirit realm is the storyteller here. I love this card because, again, it's advancement and expansion. So here we have sort of a chief-like leader energy, and here we have a storyteller. Either way, this is sort of that energy of being the keeper of the flame, knowing your heart's desire and going for it without apologies. The storyteller here, you'll find these in trading posts if you ever have the chance to visit the Southwest. I'm from Utah, so we have them here. And it's a figurine that you find in most trading posts. But the story behind them is, in ancient time, legend has it that the storytellers would be travelers, and they would go from tribe to tribe and tell the news of what this tribe has gathered, and perhaps they shared it with this tribe and then come to find out it was poisonous or what have you. So they're teaching lessons, but they're teaching lessons through riddles and through storytelling, legends, so this could be you telling your transformation journey. If you're in the online space as an entrepreneur or as a coach or some sort of healer, you may find buzzwords like a brand message, having a transformation story, resonating with your clientele by being vulnerable. All of those things are kind of coming forward here for you. Okay, and then in your forward movement, going into your future, we have great mystery. What a beautiful energy for you. This is about the universal sources the great mystery, you know, God, source, spirit, divinity, whatever it is that you want to call it, you're going to be diving in. And this makes so much sense here, because perhaps you are one of those people who doesn't quite know your own personal truth here. Okay, so your mindset is about finding this awareness, is about breaching that gap, that glass ceiling, that belief system. Okay, it's time to make your belief systems concrete. Is it law of attraction? Is it intention setting? Is it, you know, God, source, spirit, divinity? You get to choose, but whatever it is, it will be guiding you. And it doesn't even have to have a name. I'm feeling that very strongly, like perhaps because this is a mindset, because this is the center of your reading, you have been heightened and focused upon what those things could be. And so it may be ailing you just a little bit. And these are going to go up right now that I kind of understand what's happening here, which is that you're diving into the universal source of spirit and the spirit realms. It's just been a little bit unclear what that might look like, or do we put a name on it, things like that. So let's see what's going on with your story. We have intuition again. I love the similarities here. So trusting your intuition, the moon being high. Again, you as a Scorpio are a highly intuitive person, and it's time to use that to your advantage. So we have the mice here. They've been coming up a lot. This can be about slow movement or about things coming to an end, which here we go. Okay, a transformation of some kind, no big deal. The garden, this is a gathering spot for people to speak their mind, for people to create a community, a coming together of some kind. Also in the reverse, we have the love, the lovers. We have the cross, which is quite literally oppression or burdens, you know, of the Jesus story. Most people know that story. Then we have choices. So perhaps you're choosing between what is, you know, supposed to be known. And we have a man. Interesting. So this could be you if you are masculine, or it could be the masculine side of you, or this could be somebody in your immediate vortex who is kind of helping you along this, making the choice of what you believe in, or perhaps they are trying to sway you. So let's dive deeper here. Let's find what it is that Scorpio is ready to let go of. And at the bottom of the deck, before I shuffle here, we have everything in perfect balance. And I think this is very important. We even have the starry crown, the thorns up here. The thorns are caging her chest area, and in the chest is a flying bird. And I think that's something that's very, very predominant for you, because we have the thorns and crowns, and you know, a lot of people are talking about Christ consciousness, how many of us are feeling that same way. You know, in one way or another, we do make sacrifices for humanity. We do bleed out of every pore. You know, all of those stories that come from Jesus of Nazareth are beginning to make more sense now in this day and age, because there's this new beginning, this new dawn. Astrologers are calling it the age of Aquarius. We have new age conscious leaders talking about 5D, Christ consciousness, the second coming. All of the ancient texts are talking about this time frame of being alive right now. We used to think it was 2012. Then it realized that the Georgian calendar of the 1500s negated that old ancient Mayan calendar. And so now it's actually 2020, because we lost 8 years precisely when we adopted those calendars. Still in ancient times, but not quite as ancient as the others. So, okay, this one's bouncing around. We have merge with the flow. So more of this earth element, I think that will help you a lot, Scorpio. As you are a water sign, you will sometimes find yourself feeling a little bit ungrounded, a little bit caught up in some emotional turbulence. So when you merge with the flow and you realize you're in perfect balance. You have this beautiful aura around you, and then you merge with the flow of the universe, whatever that is called, whatever it is for you. It doesn't really matter what anyone else says you believe in. What matters is that it is truly yours, okay? And at the bottom of the deck here, we have honor your mystical creative force. So again, a matter of trusting yourself. We have a snake here, which is about transformation and also honoring those parts of you. This could also be connected to the Adam and Eve story, you know, Eve trying to trust herself and being guided in the wrong direction. And then many of us forget the story of Lilith. You know, Lilith was the first woman, and the story goes, you know, depending on which story you read or what have you, that Lucifer and Lilith were partnered, as well as Adam and Eve, and then they begat or had Cain and, oh my gosh, what's the other one? You would know if you are into this story, but there's two sons and they came from different parents. Cain and somebody. It'll come to me later. But either way, this is a time to trust yourself, to not be led by the snake energy or not be taken astray from your personal truth. And a lot of people will say that the snake represented Kundalini energy, which is ancient Sanskrit for having the mystical force within you, which here it is, the mystical force. Kundalini is an awakening. And the snake is representative of DNA, representative of your ability to create. Okay, so we'll come back to this because I feel that this is very, very important for you to better understand your journey. So now we'll dive into more of this mindset, what it is that you are focusing on as you go about this expansion and finding your spiritual truth. And at the bottom of the deck here, we have pilgrimage. And I love this card so much because it says, you're on the journey to your own greatness. Your soul is longing to find the way. Only you can choose your path. Wow. I didn't expect that last sentence. It's up to you, Scorpio. You know, nobody else is here to pave your way. And if they are, then they're not correct for you. So I want to focus on the white animals here. Okay. Because I mentioned that all of the new age 5D Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call this awakening going on within all of us. I have decks on the table here from Celtic theologies to Native American. I also have some Chinese, you know, it's all over the world. Then I draw upon all those energies so we can find common denominators and common ground. So in Native American theologies, there's this talk of the fifth world of peace, coincidentally, five dimension, or the 5D, also the fifth world. Okay, so there's the prophecy of the whirling rainbow, and where Big Buffalo Calf Woman presents a story and the elders of those times where the buffalo were being slaughtered and people were having to travel the Trail of Tears, and all of this, you know, just upheaval and chaos and destruction was all around. That's when the elders had a prophecy that said, one day there will be an influx of albino white animals, and it will be the symbol for the fifth world of peace. And we're seeing that today. And that prophecy states also that the third generation of the white settlers would wear beads in their hair, colors on their skin, and they will speak as if they're red on the inside, which means native blood. Even though they're not, they're most clearly white. But they speak in the same riddles, they tell important stories, and they're here to make the world green again. They're here to change the minds of the white governors and leaders So this pilgrimage here is very important because you find your personal truth, what it is that you truly believe in, and you and only you. This is a solo mission. Excuse me. And you find the ability to love. You find the ability to let information in, and it brings you to your own greatness, your own ability to see. Okay, so what else do we have that goes hand in hand with that journey for Scorpio? Partnership. Okay, so this brings in the love here and the man over there, which again could be you, could be a partner, or it could be someone from your past. We will find out. It says, learn to grow with others, overcome obstacles by working together, touch each other's hearts while life lasts. Interesting. So you're made to make connections and to be on the same page, you know, and I don't like where it says hold each other's hearts while life lasts. I don't think that there should be that scarcity piece to the puzzle, but more about just that blessing of having time together, that ability to connect being something that's rare and beautiful and awe-inspiring. Now we're going to dive into things to keep in mind. What are the spiritual messages as you move forward towards this great mystery, towards the ability to grow into your future? Okay. We have embracing. I love this. So again, this nighttime energy, I feel that maybe some of you are having a hard time sleeping, and that's because that's when you're the most heightened and aware and available for the channeling to come in. So you're receiving divine inspiration through whatever you believe in. It could be prayer, it could be meditation. They are one and the same, right? So you're finding yourself, it does seem that there's a little bit of like rejecting information, because what we need to be doing is really embracing that we are part of the flow of the universe and grabbing hold of our belief systems and not letting it go, and finding wisdom in all the things that we have seen. And it leads us to running through this gateway. And I love this card so much because it's like a unicorn, and it's like, come run away with me, you know, let's go into the sunrise and just have a day together, jump on my back, let's go. And it gets to be this spirituality, this opening journey, this journey of becoming more aware, this journey of understanding new depths and new heights as well. It's so enlightening and it's so much fun. And I think that the fun piece is what has been missing, because it seems to have been up until now very much burdening you. So instead, if you embrace that you are on the right path, you're doing the right thing, you're being led in the right direction, you can just jump on the back and go, right? So embrace the fact that you're being guided. That's very, very clear as well. Okay, now let's go ahead and dive into what's being expressed. Aspects of you that are going to be expressed in the public arena. I love this card, the dragon. And he is all about biting through. It says, take decisive action, restore order, force applied with sensitivity, justice, tenacious devotion to a task. Love, love, love that. There's a devotion here. Also, again, being led. My first ever Akashic Records meditation, you know, it was, I was told that I would be greeted by my guide, and we would do this here where we could just go on the gateway and we just go explore, right? And I was so excited, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. But I was in the bathtub, and I was trying to meditate, and I was sliding all over the place, trying to stand up straight, or sit up straight, I mean, and I was overall just quite uncomfortable. So this, this dragon here, come to find out, that was my guide. and I began to see him approach, but I was just so stuck in my body. I was so unable to meditate at that time. So the dragon ended up being quite angry with me, or, so I perceived. And we were not able to go and run into the sunrise with this energy here. And so he yelled in my face. And so imagine meditating through the Akashic realm the very first time and then getting yelled at by your guide, who happens to be a fire-breathing dragon. So, just kind of a humorous way of looking at meditation, of looking at spirituality. And of course I was able to redo the meditation in a different time, and I went and jumped on his back and we went straight up. I mean, just straight up like an elevator shaft. But of course I was on his back and we were just going through dimensions and just lifting ourselves up. So it ended up being quite a fun exercise once I let go. Once I embraced the fact that this is a choice I get to make, to either be upset that I can't, or that things are moving slowly, or to embrace my truth, to embrace my awareness, and thus, I'm hearing the word pretend. So there might be a little bit of fake it till you make it type of energy, and pretend goes hand in hand as well with imagination, right? Once we have that imagination, we're able to dive deeper, and that's here as well, the well. Seeking truth, interesting. Wisdom, insight, and intuitive knowing. Return to the source. Oh my goodness. Return to the source. Get to the bottom of things. Interesting. Okay. So a repeat message there of everything that we see here. Seeking truth, finding that wisdom and insight, having that intuitive nudge guide you as you dive in. So I'm actually going to set this one here because I think this is quite an important message for you. Okay, now let's go ahead with the momentum that leads you. I was going to say guide and leads you at the same time. What is guiding and leading? Okay, so we have the ancestor. So this could be outside of you. This could be part of you. I'm feeling some spirit guide vibes very strongly. Again, it feels very similar to this here, where you're at a turning point and you're on this path and you're thinking to yourself, which way is going to be the least resistance, right? We always want to take the path of least resistance, and that is perfectly normal. So there's a need now to invite a guide in. And this could be spiritual, this could be an online coach, some sort of practitioner, some sort of healer, a certified or uncertified wellness coach, someone who can help and guide you on this path to wellness. Then we have a 6 of arrows, or the 6 of swords in the traditional tarot, which is very much about movement. Okay, you are being asked to move forward one way or another. Make the choice. Don't weigh yourself down. Just jump on the dragon's back. Just jump on the unicorn's back, and let it be funny and silly and cute and move forward. I mean, every single card here is telling you to expand, and it seems to me like it's just been a little bit of a scary movement, or a thought process of some kind. Okay, so the motivation is perhaps to be your own guide. That could very well be as well. But we have communication in a lot of here. We have a choice to be made. I felt the story that was the dragon's back. I just feel that many of you don't realize how much power lies within your grasp. And at the bottom of the deck here, we have ecstasy. So you're being asked to really focus on the fun aspects of this spiritual journey. I know for some people it's really hard to get through a tarot reading because there's kind of a bad reputation. Like, I don't know where it came from because the tarot is just so cool. But back in ancient times, witches were called witches because they owned land, they utilized the land, they were healers, and they helped people to grow. And they were prosecuted because it didn't fill the agenda of the oppressors. Okay, so I'm feeling this for you. You are diving out of the norm and going through a gateway which leads you to ultimate freedom and also to this ecstasy here, because there's talismans here, there's like, you know, perhaps herbs or something in here. I mean, how can herbs be bad? Really, you know? And this is kind of what we're up against, is like a choosing between what is said to be normal, which is herbs from the forest are bad and should be banned, and, you know, going to a foundational learning that is by the book and is straightforward. I mean, honestly, for me, the greatest lie ever told is that the path is straight and narrow. I mean, how is any path straight? It simply is not, because there's turbulence if you're on a boat. There's going to be depths if you're diving deep. There's going to be wind if you're sailing across, you know? There's always turbulence. You cannot simply put yourself in a position where only the straight and narrow is advised. It's just not feasible, right? So you have to give up some control here. You have to be willing to transform, and that's hard to do. It is. But a transformation, a transition into a new way of being, this pilgrimage here, I actually love how these energies are very similar too. This ancestor energy here is very much a guide. So perhaps calling upon your bloodlines might come through as well. And we have a repeat message here as well with the senescal. Senescal, I don't know how to say this properly, but we have dogs here, which is all about loyalty. We have ants that are very much about community, also a strength. Then we have this guide here as well that has all of the elements present. We have the swords, which is all about ideas. We have the earth elements with the acorns and the pentacles. I guess we don't have a lot of water, but or fire. So, okay, we have air and earth. Very good. All right, so let's see what aspects of you are going to be coming forward and awakening at this time. What parts of Scorpio are we awakening? The whole self. Hold nothing back, right? Very good. So there's a union here, and I mentioned Kundalini. This to me, with the dragon kind of going up and spiraling upwards, this feels a lot like that Kundalini energy where you're like awakening all of the chakras at once. We have another aura up over her head, right? Which is very similar here. Christ consciousness comes through again, right? You can embrace and embody this white dove spirit, this witchy, warlock, wizardry. I mean, you decide. And it's just so sweet. It's so much fun to just embark on it, you know, decide what's calling you. Is it Native American? Is it Old English? Is it Celtic, Norse, pagan? I mean, it doesn't really matter. There's nothing on this world that is evil, right? Except for maybe the people in office, right? So we're here very much to have a transformation experience, and the reward, Scorpio, is this energy here. This is gorgeous energy. This is like being in control of all the elements. This is about manifestation and having the world on your side. I mean, I really love this here. There's like this crack in the universe, right, where all of the answers lie, and there's this pathway that leads to that space, and this person here is acting very much like this one. That's like, just come with me. Let's go through here. Let's travel through realms. Let's go and explore and dance and have this journey where you can trust and that you are guided. And I'm seeing that partnership as well coming through here. So I think many of you, again, are called to sort of call upon some sort of coach, some sort of certification course. I mean, something is kind of coming through there that's calling you, because it's time for you to really and truly understand your faith. And this for me is like Mother Earth energy. And I say that because we have the turtle here. Native Americans call North America Turtle Island, and it reaches from, I think it includes Mexico as well, and it goes all the way up to Greenland. So North America is massive. So you can't just simply say Native American culture, because it goes all the way down to the from the South Pole, you know, down to the bottom of Chile, all the way up through Central America, through Mexico, through the States, all the way up to Canada and the Arctic Circle. It's massive. So we have a wolf here, leadership, communication, partnership, trust, community. Then we have the heron here, the water bird. This is the symbol of the Native American church, because it's all about self-reflection. He's always, you know, walking through, oh my goodness. I didn't even notice he came through twice. He's even in the same position. 2 different decks. But this is self-reflection. Another synchronicity saying that this is a solo journey. This is up to you. I love how even the colors are the same here. Like, ooh, this gets me excited. And then this woman here has a lotus flower as well. And lotus flowers are predominant because they grow in muddy water. You can't grow a lotus flower in clean water. You can't, it'll die. It has to have this murky, deep, you know, not deep necessarily, but just murky and with substance, okay? So I'm gonna put those together because they're just so similar. So there's a balance coming to you where your understanding, your body and your mind need to be on the same page. Your spirit and your mindset must be together as well. So what animals are coming forward for Scorpio? Wow. Okay. Goodness, I love some repeat messages here. So we have the turtle, who's a very stable, very sturdy, very reliable source. This is about cleansing in water and grounding on land. This is a nod to that Mother Earth energy that you can call upon. I think some of you may be really feeling that when it comes to your superpower, your practice, your religious beliefs, what have you, you continue to come back to the earth, the energies of earth, the abundance of earth. So very, very cool to have those repeating messages. So let's make some room here for one more animal. What animal is coming through for Scorpio? Okay, ooh, fun. I love the raccoons. The raccoons get a bad reputation for being a nuisance and messing up the farmer's land, right? But what he actually does is he goes through the garbage cans and rummages through them, and he's making this big, massive mess. And then he takes his spoils to the forest and he makes a big mess again as he's unwrapping the cookies or whatever he found, makes a big mess, takes what he wants, and then he scurries off and he's on his own again. Well, what has he just done? He has just unraveled an entire pathway for all of the other animals to eat. So he looks like a little bandit. He looks like a selfish little, you know, monger. But in reality, he is giving to the forest. So that's you, because you're giving people your perspective. You're the teller of the story, the keeper of the flame. And that's a Miranda Lambert song that I just quoted. Some of you may feel that. Then at the bottom of the deck here, we have the sacred spiral, the grouse. These are really cool animals because they run around in circles and they will get all of the land excavated because of this circle. So they kind of are going out and drawing crop circles all the time. And it's beautiful because it shows us that in order to see deeper truths, in order to fully find where we're headed, we have to sometimes come back around on things that we once thought that we knew. So when you're going through to find your inner truth for yourself, when you're finding your awakening journey that you are embarking on, you're going to need to make changes that may feel quite uncomfortable, right? And of course, no death card in any tarot deck actually means death. None of them. It's just a rebirth experience. In ancient times, medieval times, the warriors would come back from war and they would lay in their coffins so that they had the opportunity to wake up. They would wake up from their coffin and feel what it's like to literally feel as though they're rising from the dead. So next, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to gather all of the cards up and I'm going to tell a story from start to finish. And what I'd like you to do as I pause this recording is go ahead and go through the description box, click that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to see when I upload. I'm going to be doing these readings at least once a month, but I also have a free Facebook group. I teach the Akashic Records. I am a spiritual online coach, and I want to be able to help you with this awakening experience. So let's get this story going. Go ahead and check out those places. I'll be right back. Okay, my dear Scorpio, you are on a self-prophesying journey where you are finding your inner truth. And this is a huge priority for you, to find peace of mind in your belief systems and to make that very solid. So you're going on a journey of self-reflection, a journey of embracing the experiences that you've seen and solidifying those beliefs and turning that into an undeniable personal truth. It's been a little bit slow moving. You've seen instances that maybe negate belief systems, but very seldom do you find those instances that solidify a new belief. So you continue to feel a little bit burdened about this. Like, I've come this far, how can I change now? Or, I was taught this way, so how could it be anything different? But it's important to embrace that this is your choice. This is a journey that you and only you will be embarking on to find exactly what it is that you need, not what anyone else needs. It says here, you are on a journey to your own greatness. Your soul is longing to find the way. Only you can choose your path. Very important there. But it's okay to also have partnerships in this. Learn to grow with others, overcome obstacles by working together, touch each other's hearts while life lasts. So you're gaining perspective from higher sources. And this could be, again, coaches, healers, not people in your immediate space. I always teach for my clients not to market to friends and family, not to gain perspective from people that already know where you come from and where you have stood in the past, because you're looking to find a brand new journey. You're sailing to brighter places for greener pastures, if you will. So we want the help of others, but we want it to be in a way that feels very open, very mystical, very fun, and that leaves you feeling anchored in that truth and feeling like this gets to be a fun exploration. You continue to come back. This was just on the bottom of the deck and calling to me, so this is a new card. But this is a shawl of Mother Earth coming home to this ecstasy here, coming back always to this serendipitous flow of the universe that flows through Mother Earth. Whatever flows through the plants and makes the plants grow, that's the magic I want in on, right? Because, see if I can find the exact one I'm looking for here. Because Mother Earth doesn't lie and will always guide you in the path of least resistance and is always there for you to call upon as well. There's a feminine nature here, but there's also a very grand, very great oversight that's happening that again is very fun, serendipitous, and flows, just feels exactly like returning home. And we see that here as well, where you begin to communicate with people who speak your language, with people who know who you are or how you're expressing yourself, the new self. It's like you really are transforming into a brand new version of you. And we see that with the Death card here, which I know, such a dark representation. I mean, what are people thinking, right? But again, it's this waking up, this feeling of, okay, I'm done with who I once was. I'm now ready to embrace this new beginning, this new dawn. And in so doing, at the bottom of the deck here, you move quicker than you ever have before. You tell your story with a new confidence, with new context, a transformation story that changes other people's lives, that makes other people feel, oh, if you can do it, so can I. You're paving the way. Again, being the keeper of the flame. Because you went through that transformation, because you left the old self behind, now you have a new self that is so much stronger because of that. And you are creating such a strength about you. And this one says, take decisive action, restore order, force applied with sensitivity, justice, tenacious devotion to a task. So again, you're seeing yourself show up bigger, brighter, faster, stronger. I think that's a sign too. But you always come back to this Mother Earth energy that grounds you, that helps you to feel completely and totally accepted. And it will always feel like a home base. That's how you know what is true and what is false, Scorpio, is that you feel it when you see it. You see it and you just all of a sudden fall in love all over again, right? You are able to see yourself in a brand new light, your transformation journey, you're letting go, you're embracing something new. It brings you such peace, such happiness, such joy that you can't help but dive deeper. You absolutely love this, whatever it is you're uncovering and you are awakening and uncovering. There we go. It says, seeking truth, wisdom, and insight, intuitive knowing, return to the source, getting to the bottom of things. You begin to trust your intuition. And I always love how these colors always end up somehow or another lining up. You are becoming a new version of you, where you're embracing your own Christ consciousness, your own spiritual awakening, your own witchy, coming of age, what have you. There's rites of passage here. But you must agree, you must embrace that you are on the right path, that you've been led through the right turbulence, that the chaos has led you to this point and made you that much stronger of a person. You have gone through wars within yourself, outside of yourself, with people outside you, with the parts within you, but it's made you a much stronger person. You now cultivate power. You manifest and generate power. It doesn't have to be witchy with a raven on your shoulder and a staff in your hand, right? But it can be, because it's just fun. It doesn't have to mean anything, right? It's just about you and your great mystery. Maybe start calling it great mystery, because how powerful is that? That is an admitting that I don't know what it's called. It's just called the mystery. All of that parts of life that we don't understand, perhaps we're not meant to. Perhaps we're meant to feel it instead. To feel that pull, to feel that draw, and to feel yourself fully and completely understand it on a new level that feels more like embracing. And I love these all together, how they ended up in the same path on the same row here. Because we have, again, this crack in the universe, this meditation, prayer, going through, breaking the window. You know, it's like 3D is inside the building or inside the box, and then great mysteries on the other side of that box. So you're literally tearing yourself apart. And yes, it's painful. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but look at, you get to soar once you've breached that opening. And then you get to be on the other side, a mystical creature or a mystical person who is like, I'm on the other side. I'm holding that power. I'm getting to talk to my guides. I'm getting to speak with my ancestors in normal, everyday conversation. And these are my new friends. These are my new guidance systems. This is now where I find partnership and love. So embrace this, Scorpio. This could very well be the Akashic Records. Very well be, because this looks very similar to some of the meditations. Okay, and I am a teacher of the Akashic Records. I am able to certify you to certify others. So again, being that generous protector of Earth, spreading this knowledge. And it isn't definitive like religion or some other spirituality practices. This is very much just focused on spirit guides, past lives, healing, and then an entire module dedicated to getting clients, creating abundance, giving yourself a new income stream. So if you're interested in that, check out that description box, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I will put everything in the description box. There's free resources there. There's also things that I can support you on in this journey if you feel so called. I hope you all have a wonderful in bulk period where you are nurturing this new way of being, and I will see you all next month. Bye.